Hi everyone, my name is Timothy and I'm making a game called Primal Frey. In today's episode I want to show you something cool I've added during last week. So first of all we need to do a slight change here and we're ready to go. This Primal looks the same as last week, the same as a second ago, but one thing's make it really different. Watch this. Of course, fire and ice don't mix together well, unless you're Game of Thrones, but we all know how that ended. So it won't be a part of his kit. On the release that is. For now, let's let him have a little fun. As you have noticed, I'm currently experimenting with new types of abilities. As you can see, I adjusted my hex targeting system to override adjacent hexes. That's how I can show this pretty area of effect. What I'm most proud about is how easy it is to design a new ability, such as this fireball. Let me show you how to do it. Okay, we have my Primals data, so the place I create my abilities, and we have a brand new ice golem, okay? He will be used in game. If we play him right now, let's say we are working on ability 3. It is empty, as you can see, nothing is like done here. It doesn't even show up. If we were to use it, like nothing will happen, of course. So let's make it a fireball. First, let's make it show up here. So I will write ice first. That's because that's the name of my icons, right? I have only 4 icons right now, so there isn't much choice, but right now you can see it shows up. Of course, still I cannot do anything with it. So let's make it do something. Let's write here hex. Now it will target every hex, but in range 0. So probably it will only allow us to target our own feet, I think. Yeah, you can see everything is red because it's out of range, but we can target ourselves. Of course, when we highlight here, you see this white rectangle. That's why we haven't chosen what icon it should use. Let's write here hex spell. Okay. Now when we reload that, you can see you can see that already, right? Or we can write hex, or we can write here hex attack target. Now it will show this icon. Quite handy. But okay, let's leave it at spell and give it some more range, so like 5 range. Now you can see that the range is quite further. We may target any of these. Of course, when we click, nothing will happen, right? So let's make it shoot a fireball. To do it, we have to choose we have to choose 2 things. What the ability does, the first one, and what the animation plays. So we may choose animation here. It will be punch, for example. If I choose the ability to punch, he will, you see, he punched. If I made it spell, he would do this animation, right? Nothing of course happens, it's just the animation of the Primal. So the spell type, we have to write bombardment. It's the one that calculates like this fireball thing. There are different animations, like hit animation, like there are different spell types. There's, for example, buff spell and hit spell. Hit is like a point and click target one enemy and hit him, and bombardment is this fireball. If I wanted to add different spells, I would have different like keywords here, okay? So let's add bombardment, and I also have to say the element because it determines the color of the bombardment thing and the animation, okay? Right now only the ice one is done, but it won't work if we won't like write that. So now you can see, you saw that? That's cool. But of course it didn't do any damage, it didn't do anything. So let's change that. Here we have just damage here, so we can write 10. And now, when we shoot it, we would have to shoot at our friend. yeah, it dealt damage to him, you see? Of course, we may change this damage to like 100, and we will one-shot people and maybe like range to 6, so we can instantly like target this guy and cool. But it isn't a fireball right now because it only targets like a single hex, so if we shoot it here, yeah, nothing happens. To change that, we have to change this size parameter, so let's make it 1. Now, when we target it, you can already see, right? It looks more proper. And everything dies. If we make it like 3, the whole map will be a total mess because what? Why aren't they dead? They should be dead, right? They should be. That's too funny. How much HP do you have? Current HP minus 40. Another bug to the list. Another bug to the list. But you know, that's just how it is. Like, you find those bugs in, you know, in such moments. It's a constant struggle of a game developer. Okay, let's pretend we didn't see that. Let's pretend we didn't see that, okay? And change the size to something reasonable. And maybe damage to like 40. So it won't happen again, okay? Just pretend we didn't see that. Yeah, okay. But now we want them to be pushed out of the map. Well, nothing more simple. We just stick this one. Is push. Click. And now, ka-chunk! My friends, making abilities has never been so easy. You have already seen that I have also added this pushing around. I can push primals off the map or into the water. Falling or drowning animations are not implemented yet, but even now it is pretty satisfying to kill others that way. Now, when ability system is quite robust already, adding new stuff to it becomes easier and easier actually. That's why from next week I will start to add new primals instead. Like, look at this guy. He has been with us since, what, a second devlog? And it's like 12, I think? We are all tired of you, bozo. You hear me? So, I have some new primals in the making. This moth guy will be able to fly and push people around.
They fly now! They fly now!
So I've been making this mechanic, like this pushing mechanic, really for him. And this crystal frog, he's the one who will be spitting all those fireballs around. So in the future weeks, I plan to implement new primal while making an ability for him. So, for example, this frog will be able to destroy hexes with its fireball. I don't have hex destroying mechanic yet, but it will be quite easy to implement given I have the whole system for it. And it would be way more fun not to stare at this guy for once. Like really, I've stared at him for so many development hours you can't even imagine. Some news before we wrap it up. With all the things I do, I am aiming at making a playable prototype for you guys. There will be 5 primals with some cool abilities and a simple interface to choose both teams, map parameters and just, you know, get it on with your friend. Fight with him on hot seat. There will be no AI because it's quite tricky to get it work, so it's not that big of a priority for me. It is coming down the line, just not the first prototype. If you want to be notified on that and be as close to development as possible, or just want to give some feedback or hang out, whatever, just jump into my Discord. The link is in the description. Oh, and vote which primal do you want me to make next, Mothman or Mr. Frogger? God, I need some better names for them. Let me know in the comments. Now, that's really all for today. I'll see you next week with a new Primal. Bye bye!